Hi there. Real quick before we jump into the episode. If you enjoy this episode, or any of the other episodes, be sure to give us a follow or subscribe. It would also be great if you shared it with a friend, or better yet, left a review so others can know how awesome it is. Thanks so much. And now, the episode.
Hey there, Press Starters, and welcome to the Press Start Leadership Podcast, the podcast about game-changing leadership, teaching you how to get the most out of your product and development team and become the leader you were meant to be. Leadership coaching and training for the international game industry professional. Now, let me introduce you to your host, the man, the myth, the legend, Christopher Mifsud.
Hey there, Press Starters, and welcome back to another awesome edition of the Press Start Leadership Podcast. On this week's episode, we'll be discussing a beginner's guide to negotiating in video game production, achieving win-win solutions. A comprehensive guide to achieving win-win solutions in video game production. Navigating negotiations in the video game industry requires a blend of skill, understanding, and strategy. For beginners, understanding the fundamentals of negotiation and the importance of seeking win-win solutions can make the difference between merely striking a deal and forging successful, long-lasting partnerships. This comprehensive guide is designed to equip emerging professionals in video game production with the necessary tools and insights to excel in negotiations, ensuring outcomes that benefit all parties involved. Understanding the basics of negotiation in video game production. Negotiation is an art that involves two or more parties discussing an issue with the aim to reach a mutually beneficial agreement. In video game production, negotiations can range from budget discussions, deadlines, and scope of work to partnerships, licensing deals, and distribution agreements. Mastering negotiation skills can lead to better project outcomes and can significantly impact your career and the success of your projects. Preparing for negotiations. Comprehensive preparation is the cornerstone of effective negotiation. Understand the market standards, the needs and strengths of your counterparty, and the historical precedents of similar negotiations. Clearly define what you want to achieve with the negotiation. Set primary and secondary goals, understanding what you are willing to compromise on and what is non-negotiable. Building relationships. Negotiations are more effective when both parties trust each other. Spend time building rapport before diving into business discussions. Try to understand the underlying needs and constraints of the other party. This knowledge can guide you to propose solutions that can address both parties' concerns. Communication skills. Be clear and precise in your communication. Ambiguities can lead to misunderstandings that might complicate the negotiation. Show genuine interest in what the other party is saying. Active listening can reveal underlying concerns and open up avenues for solutions that you may not have considered. Strategies for finding win-win solutions. The goal of a successful negotiation in the gaming industry should not just be to win, but to find a solution that all parties feel good about. This approach fosters long-term relationships and ongoing collaboration, which are essential in an industry as interconnected as video gaming. Collaborative negotiation techniques. Focus on the interests behind the positions that parties hold. By understanding the why behind demands, you can find solutions that satisfy the core interests of both sides. Encourage all parties to brainstorm together to find innovative solutions that provide mutual gains. Utilizing leverage and concessions. Understanding and subtly utilize the leverage you have. Leverage is anything that gives you an edge in negotiations, but use it responsibly to foster cooperation, not competition. Plan your concessions. Decide in advance which aspects of the deal you can be flexible on, and when to introduce these concessions in the negotiation to nudge the conversation towards a close. Managing conflict and deadlocks. Maintain your composure. Even if negotiations become tense, a calm demeanor can help de-escalate conflicts and keep discussions productive. If you hit a stalemate, suggest alternative approaches. Bring in a third-party mediator or agree to cooling off period to reassess positions and options. Implementing best practices in video game production negotiations. Implementing best practices in your negotiation processes can enhance your efficiency and success rate in achieving win-win outcomes. Role-playing and simulations. Engage in role-playing exercises to simulate negotiation scenarios. This practice can help refine your tactics and strategies in a risk-free environment. After each practice session, analyze what strategies worked, what didn't, and why. Continuous improvement is key to mastering negotiations. Documenting agreements. Always ensure that negotiated terms are documented in a contract or agreement. This protects all parties and clarifies expectations. Have all agreements reviewed by a legal professional, especially in complex deals involving IP rights, large sums of money, or significant commitments. Advanced negotiation tactics. Enhancing your negotiation skills involves more than understanding basic principles. It requires mastering advanced techniques that can be adapted to the complexities of video game production. Anchoring. Start with an initial offer that sets the terms in your favor. This psychological tactic can influence the subsequent negotiations, as the first number you put forward often becomes a point of reference for all discussions. Use anchoring when negotiating budgets or deadlines. Present a well-justified initial figure or timeline that gives you room to adjust while steering the negotiation toward your preferred outcome. The mutual gains approach. Focus on maximizing the gains for all parties rather than winning at the other's expense. This approach builds in on the principle of finding mutual interests, but goes further to actively enhance the other party's outcomes alongside your own. When negotiating terms with a game development partner, look for ways to expand the deal to include co-marketing opportunities or shared IP development that benefits both sides. Contingent agreements. Design agreements that include conditions based on future events or performances. This tactic can be useful in managing uncertainties and risks. Use contingent agreements when negotiating with freelance artists or developers. Include clauses that extend collaboration based on milestone or success of certain game features. Industry-specific insights and challenges. Understanding the unique aspects of the video game industry can significantly enhance your negotiation capabilities by allowing you to anticipate potential issues and tailor your strategies accordingly. IP rights and licensing. Negotiations involving intellectual property, especially in the creative industry like video games, are often complex and fraught with legal nuances. Navigating the protection of your creative ideas while collaborating or licensing can be tricky. Always involve IP law experts when discussions involve copyrights, trademarks, or patents. Cross-cultural negotiations. The global nature of the video game industry means you often negotiate with partners, suppliers, or teams from different cultural backgrounds. Cultural differences can impact negotiation styles significantly. Understanding these differences and adapting your approach can prevent misunderstandings and build stronger international relationships. Final thoughts. Mastering the art of negotiation within the video game industry is a critical skill that can influence the success of both your projects and your career. By understanding and applying both foundational and advanced negotiation strategies, and by learning from real-world scenarios, you can navigate the complexities of industry-specific negotiations with confidence. Effective negotiation leads to better deals, stronger relationships, and more successful projects, underpinning your growth as a respected professional in the game development community. All right, and that's this week's episode of the Press Start Leadership Podcast. Thanks for listening, and as always, thanks for being awesome. And that's a wrap for today's episode, Press Starters. Before we go, I'm excited to share a bit about my indie game studio, Play on Words Studios. Our latest project, Shadow City Mysteries: A Clockwork Noir, is a captivating narrative adventure game that you won't want to miss. Head over to Steam to wishlist it now. Additionally, we're gearing up for an exciting crowdfunding campaign for our tabletop RPG book that's set in the same intriguing world. Join the pre-campaign and stay updated for all the latest news. Check the links in the show notes to wishlist Shadow City Mysteries on Steam and join our tabletop RPG book pre-campaign on BackerKit. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, keep pressing start on your leadership journey.